beautiful soul. I'm so glad you're here today. Take a breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. This is a safe space for truth, for healing, for coming home to yourself. Today, I want to talk about something that quietly causes so much pain in our lives. Something most of us don't even realize is the source of our suffering. Expectations. Not the loud kind, the silent ones, the unspoken ones, the ones we carry in our hearts and place on others without even noticing. And then one day something happens. Someone disappoints us. Someone behaves in a way we didn't expect. Someone disappears. Someone treats us unfairly. Someone doesn't show up the way we hoped they would. And suddenly, we are hurt deeply. Maybe you know this feeling, that tightness in your chest when you think of that person, that wave of anger, sadness, or helplessness that comes back every time the story replays in your mind. That question that whispers inside, why are they like this? Why couldn't they just be different? I know this place very well. There were moments in my life where I felt wounded again and again. Not because the situation kept happening, but because I kept reliving it. Every thought brought the pain back. Every memory triggered the same emotions. And I told myself, let them, just let them. But my body didn't listen. My heart didn't feel peace. And maybe that's where you are too. What changed everything for me was a simple but very uncomfortable realization. Every time I felt hurt, I was still expecting the other person to be different, to act differently, to speak differently, to care differently, to be someone they simply were not. And as long as I held on to that expectation, I was reopening the wound myself. This was hard to accept because it meant something very important. I was not a victim of their behavior anymore. I was the one keeping the pain alive. Not consciously, not intentionally, but lovingly through hope. Hope that they would change. Hope that they would finally understand. Hope that one day they would show up as the version I needed. But hope, when attached to expectations, can become suffering. My coach helped me see this with so much clarity and compassion. He said something that landed deeply in me. As long as you expect them to be different, you will suffer again and again. Not because they change, but because they don't. And then he asked a question I want to ask you now. Does this expectation help you? Does it bring you peace? Does it protect your heart? Does it heal you? Or does it hurt you every single time? When I answered honestly, I knew the truth. So I learned to gently interrupt the story. Whenever the pain came back, I told myself, you are expecting them to be different. Is this helping you? No. Do you want to keep hurting? No. And then something radical happened. I stopped wanting them to change, not because what they did was okay, not because it didn't matter, but because my peace mattered more. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. Acceptance means clarity. It means saying, this is who they are right now. This is how they act. This is what they are capable of. And when I stopped fighting reality, reality stopped hurting me. In one very personal situation, I was able to feel gratitude instead of pain. Gratitude that someone showed me early who they truly were. Gratitude that I didn't invest more of my heart. Gratitude for the protection hidden inside the disappointment. And this shift from expectations to acceptance didn't change them. It changed me. When I look back at my life, I see how deeply expectations have shaped suffering across generations. Parents suffering because their children weren't the way they imagined. Children suffering because they were never seen for who they truly were. I see it with my own parents. I see it with my own children. And I see it now with so much more tenderness. When I expected my sons to be different, I couldn't see their beautiful qualities. I focused on what was missing instead of what was present. And that expectation created distance, pain, and frustration. But when I let go of the need to change them, when I accepted them as they are, as long as there was respect and safety, peace returned. Not because they changed, but because I did. So let me say this clearly from my heart to yours. The person who hurts you is not the one creating your suffering. The story you tell yourself about who they should be, that's where the pain lives. And the most empowering truth of all, you can change the story. You can change the meaning. You can choose acceptance over expectation. You can release the fantasy and embrace reality. And when you do, something incredible happens. The pain loses its grip. The trigger softens. The memory no longer controls you. You don't become cold. You become free. And with that freedom comes power. Because you realize you are the master of your inner world. You can choose peace again and again by yourself. If you are suffering right now because of someone in your life, I invite you to gently ask yourself, what am I still expecting? Who do I want them to be? And what happens if I allow them to be exactly as they are. Not forever, not with no boundaries, but right now for your peace. Acceptance doesn't weaken you, it heals you. And healing changes everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with an open heart. If this episode touched something in you, let it sink in slowly. You don't have to change everything today. Just notice your expectations and choose yourself. And if you feel that there is a story you keep replaying, a wound that still hurts, and you don't want to carry it alone anymore, I want you to know something. I offer free one-on-one coaching sessions, a safe space just for you, where you can speak freely without being judged, without having to explain yourself. Together, we gently look at your story, your expectations, and what keeps you stuck. And we find a way toward more peace, clarity, and inner freedom. There is no pressure, no obligation, just an open heart meeting another open heart. If this feels right for you, you'll find the link in the show notes. You don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to suffer anymore. Talk to you soon. Until next Thursday, and be gentle with your heart. You deserve peace.